Welcome back, everyone. All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a brilliantly mind-bending puzzle that's going to completely shatter your everyday mathematical intuition. Have you ever been, absolutely certain about a decision, only to realize later that the fundamental rules of the game were shifting right beneath your feet without you even noticing? Well, that is exactly what we're looking at today. We're going to explore a fascinating classroom exchange that perfectly captures that tension between human emotion, paranoia, and cold, hard statistics. By the time we finish, you're going to see exactly how just a single, tiny new piece of information can completely rewrite your odds of success.
Our story kicks off with a bold, honestly audacious claim echoing through a university classroom. Newton stole it. Yep, you heard that right. Sir Isaac Newton, literally one of the most revered minds in all of human science, is being accused of intellectual theft by a college student named Ben Campbell. Just imagine sitting in this high-level math class, right? The professor's holding court, and this student casually drops a bombshell like that. It instantly hooks you. It sets up this incredible dynamic where conventional wisdom is being directly challenged. We're in a class dedicated specifically to nonlinear equations, which sets the absolute perfect stage for what happens next. So bringing us to part 1, the stolen math method.
The professor asks the room to explain Newton's method and how it's used to solve these complex equations. It's your standard academic setup, basically just designed to see who actually did the reading, right? But when Ben gets called on, he doesn't just rattle off some textbook answer. Instead, he points out this wild historical reality. He asks, why does Newton get all the glory? Because according to Ben, Joseph Raphson actually published the exact same mathematical method 50 years earlier. So what happened? Well, Newton simply had a way better publicist. It's a great reminder that history is so often written by the best marketed, not the first. And to add a little extra flavor to the whole thing, after the year 1700, the main thing we actually know about Raphson is that he discovered the Kabbalah roughly 300 years before Madonna did. This fun, kind of gossipy little historical dispute does exactly what it needs to. It shows the professor that Ben isn't just regurgitating facts. He really understands the mechanics beneath the surface.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, the game show problem.
Suitably impressed, the professor decides to, really put his brilliant student to the test to see if he can earn some extra credit. He introduces what he calls the game show host problem. Now, we aren't talking about equations on a chalkboard anymore. This is a highly practical, Socratic puzzle designed to see if Ben can apply high-level logic in real time, completely under pressure. The mechanics here are actually pretty simple. Let's walk through it together. Step 1. You're on a game show, and you're given the choice of 3 different doors. Step 2. Behind one of these doors is a brand new car, but behind the other 2 are goats. Step 3. You pick a door, and then the game show host, who, and this is crucial, knows exactly what is behind every single door, will open one of the 2 doors you didn't pick, specifically revealing a goat. Like I said, the rules are simple, but the psychology, that's about to get very complicated.
So the professor asks Ben to make his initial choice, and without a second of hesitation, Ben chooses door number 1. He's locked in. At this exact moment, he has a simple 1 in 3 chance. The game is officially set.
All right, Section 3, to switch or not. Here is the pivotal twist. The host, who again knows exactly where the car is, steps in and opens door number 3 to reveal a goat. He then turns back to Ben and offers him a completely new choice. I actually want to pause right here and ask you, watching this exact same question. Put yourself in the hot seat for a second. You pick door number 1. Door number 3 is now open, staring you in the face with a goat. You can either stay with door number 1, or you can switch to door number 2. So is it in your interest to switch? Take a second. What does your gut tell you to do? Honestly, most people assume it's just a 50-50 coin toss at this point. 2 doors left, 1 car. Makes sense, right? Well, let's see what the professor does next.
The professor immediately tries to muddy the waters. He tells Ben, wait a minute, the host knows where the car is. How do you know he isn't playing a trick on you? How do you know he isn't using reverse psychology, purposefully trying to get you to switch away from the winning door just so you pick a goat? And this right here is exactly where the human element creeps in. Paranoia, second-guessing, that deep-seated fear of being made an absolute fool on national television. This is exactly where our brains tend to freeze up, and we end up abandoning logic entirely for emotion.
Moving on to Section 4, the variable change. But Ben doesn't take the bait. He tells the professor flat out that he doesn't care about the host's motives. He doesn't care about reverse psychology or little mind games. His answer isn't based on trying to read the host's facial expressions, it's entirely based on raw statistics. It's based on a concept called variable change. Now, variable change is this statistical reality where your odds shift entirely because the fundamental parameters of a scenario have been altered. Ben points out that when the host opened a door and re-offered the choice, he didn't just ask a simple question. No, he changed absolutely everything. He injected brand new, definitive data right into a closed system.
Let's break down exactly how this works, because it is fascinating. When Ben was originally asked to choose a door, he had 3 options. Simple math, right? He had a 33.3% chance of choosing the correct door. That means there was a 66.7% chance the car was behind one of the other 2 doors. That is the fundamental baseline reality of step 1. But now watch what happens to the odds after the host's intervention. By opening a door and revealing a goat, the host removes a completely wrong answer from the board. But here is the crazy secret. Your original door, it still only holds that initial 33.3% probability. But that remaining closed door, it basically absorbs the probability of the door the host just eliminated. So, as Ben brilliantly explains, if you choose to switch your choice to that remaining door, your odds of winning literally double to 66.7%. The host basically handed him an extra 33.3% chance of winning simply by asking the question. Mind-blowing, right?
And that brings us to Section 5, Math over Emotion.
The professor is just ecstatic. Ben completely nailed the logic. He successfully ignored the psychological trap and calculated the variable change perfectly. And by doing so, Ben earned his extra credit and theoretically used simple math to win a brand new car, which, as the professor jokes, is vastly better than driving around a campus goat. You know, when faced with this puzzle, most people fail. But why? Mostly because they let paranoia, fear, and emotions totally cloud their judgment. They get all caught up in the what-ifs of human behavior. They're convinced the host is tricking them. But Ben Campbell's approach just cuts right through all that noise. He pushed his emotions aside and relied on simple math. He trusted the structure of the data way over the feeling in his gut.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Sure, our daily lives might not feature game show hosts offering us cars or goats, but we are constantly presented with new information that alters the parameters of our everyday choices. So, the next time you face a difficult, high-pressure choice where the rules suddenly shift out of nowhere, what are you going to do? Will you let paranoia and emotion take the wheel, or will you step back, account for the variable change, and just trust the simple math? Keep learning, keep analyzing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.